Welcome to Miranda's Insights number 8. And we're here at a beautiful temple here in Pai, Thailand. And the topic of today is called The Value of an Empty Mind. I wanted to take another look at this thing called emptiness. Being empty, or now what I like to call an empty mind. See, we suffer because we think too much. We have too many thoughts. Our minds are active, stimulated, overstimulated, so we have too many thoughts, and this is what creates suffering. And when the mind is not overexerting itself with thoughts, we are actually quite blessed, and that's a reality. It's not something that we experience very often, but it does. Our mind is naturally blessed in its natural state. So when the mind is busy, we suffer. So it's a rare occasion to actually be in this state of blessedness. So when people come to me, I generally ask them, I say, what do you want? And the answer most people give me is, I want peace of mind. I want peace in my mind. So my job, of course, is to guide people and help you and others to enter into this state of peace. It's a state of consciousness, a state of mind which is natural to you. So the question I want to ask is, what is this? What's the core of this busy mind? What makes it so busy? What keeps it active? What keeps the mind thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking? And when a child is born, generally their mind is pretty clear. So what is it that they are empty of, that teenagers and adults are plagued with? So what is it that the mind can become empty of? That's the question. What is it? So now, thinking about that question, are you familiar with your I, your sense of your ego sense, your sense of I? Are you familiar with your I? I suggest that you become quite a lot more familiar with how it functions. So this I, or this ego, comes in the form of I am, I exist, I'm real, I'm solid, I'm unchanging, I'm right, this is mine, this is my body, this is my mind, this is my family. So your ego is a false sense of who you are. And it comes out in the form of, I need to protect my I because I'm separate from everybody. The ego is all about I, me, mine, my. The whole world revolves around this solid sense of I. And that solid sense is called me, I. So we suffer when we solidify our I. And when we empty the mind of this I sense, that's when we become free of suffering. Okay, so when we are free of this I sense, our mind becomes content. It becomes peaceful. It becomes blessed. It even has an incredible capacity to function in life because it's without this I sense. So why do you think that's so? That's because it's not the mind is not contaminated or plagued with this false sense of I, and then desperately trying to figure out how to function in life in the wrong way. So when we're identifying with an I or a my or me, then the mind doesn't know how to process it very well. So the processing becomes very twisted and convoluted. So we are overactive in trying to figure ourselves out and try to find a solution to how to be in life, because we're starting off on the wrong foot. We're not starting off with clarity, and because this thing called I and my is in the way. So it's causing unnecessary overactive mental activity. So the solidifying of this I and this my is when we add more I's. So my thing, this is mine, not yours. When we're going into the sense of me and mine, when we're adding more I's and my's and mines, that's when we solidify our sense of I, and that's when we're most prone for suffering. And when we empty the mind of the self or the I, then the opposite happens. It's a matter of practicing letting go of whenever an I or a my comes up, just let it go. Practice letting it go. And then what happens is that your I becomes more expanded. So instead of identifying as your body and smallness, you're starting to identify more with the way life is. Life is flowing. I am life, lifing. So now what will happen is, in the same way that you would say, I am life, lifing, is exactly the same as saying, I am empty of me. Okay? Do you get that? So that's are you understanding that the I and the my is what's getting in the way? So in order to expand ourselves or our sense of self, we have to get to the core of what is creating the limitation and the suffering in us. And the root is I and my, me. And it comes in the form of righteousness, possessiveness, I'm special, I'm different. And so now, if you are to empty your mind of I, what do you think you're going to experience? Do you think you're going to feel separate and alone and uncomfortable? Do you think you're going to feel nothing? Do you think you're going to become nobody because you don't have a sense of I? Do you think you're going to feel lost and separate? That's probably what you would normally think or conclude if you don't have an I or a my. But what I'm going to say is you're totally wrong. It's exactly the opposite that happens. What happens is you're going to start feeling light, you're going to feel expanded, energetic, clear, intuitive, compassionate, productive. You're going to feel energetic, receptive, trusting, like all of the qualities of nature. Everything that nature shows up as, that's what you will start to experience, and that's quite beautiful. So another way of looking at it is you will be experiencing the divine within a body. So you'll have all the qualities of the divine, but still within your body. So to give you an example of something that happened for me in relation to this possessiveness, this I and this my, and this strong sense of I and suffering, is the other day I was getting ready to go out for the day, and I realized that I don't have my hat. And then I thought about it and said, oh my God, I left my hat at the restaurant that I was in last night. And then, as soon as I started to think that, my mind flooded with all of these extra thoughts about I and my, and I started to produce more suffering around the I and the my. So then this pain came down into my solar plexus, and what happened was I started to think, oh, my hat. Where's my hat? My hat's missing. I own that hat. I invested $100 in that hat. It's my special hat. I can't function without it. I hope they don't steal my hat. Shit, I'm going to get sunstroke if I'm without my hat. And I can't relax without my hat. So, naturally, as you can see, suffering started to set in because I got I solidified it. I solidified my sense of I with all of my my's. You get that? So, so then I started to realize my pain, and I thought, oh my God, like I can't even go and pick up my hat because I have to go to a class, and so it's going to be several hours before I can even look for my hat. So I had no choice. I had to decide to let go of something. What was I going to let go of? Well, that's the thing. It's so simple. All I had to do, and which is what I did, I just stopped thinking about my hat. I stopped thinking about it. And then I stopped thinking about my hat. I stopped thinking about the me, the I that owns the hat. I stopped going in that direction altogether. I simply put my attention on something else. And what I put my attention on was I went to school. I did my class, and I put my whole attention. I just decided I'm not going to drag that with me into class. I'm going to leave that alone, put my attention on my studies. And my mind became very clear because I wasn't attached. So it's the attachment. So it's letting go of the my means letting go of the attachment to it. Not letting go of my hat. Letting go of my identification to the hat. That's what I had to let go of. Not so much the hat. And so I emptied my mind of the me and the my, and then all of the worries and the concerns and the overactivity of the mind got freed. I got released of it. And then I became fully functionable for my studies. And so that's it. So that's my insight, number 8, the value of having an empty mind. And by the way, I did find my hat. It was just sitting there. The owner of the restaurant was happy to give me my hat. So I didn't have to waste all my energy thinking about it. Okay, that's it. Bye for now, and enjoy your day. And see you in the next video. Bye.